is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky. A happy 4th of July to everybody. This day celebrates our birth as a country and allows us to reflect on how far we've come. Although it's looking a little different this year, coming in the midst of a global pandemic, it's still important to take a minute and be thankful for the country we live in and the freedom we enjoy every day. Now let's see what this 4th of July looks like here in the Coachella Valley. Groups of shoppers wander downtown to kick off the holiday weekend, but locals say the crowds aren't what they're used to.
It doesn't look like 4th of July.
There's a lot less people around.
As customers visit shops or grab a meal,
I have portraits that I do.
Some store owners are keeping their expectations low.
To me, this is going to be no different than any other Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully people are being safe, and hopefully people who come here are respectful and know that you have to wear a mask on the sidewalks.
So far, hotel parking lots remain relatively quiet, and several fireworks shows have been canceled around the Coachella Valley, leaving many to compare this weekend to years past.
This gallery would be filled to the brim with people, and we serve wine. Obviously, it's not going to be a lot of people, and we can't let more people in than 2 at the time, so that's another issue.
Or maybe a Hawaiian. Let's do a Hawaiian.
And while some staff members encourage shoppers to venture out,
we'd love to see people down and having a good time, and we can keep our distance and still enjoy the sunshine.
Trevor says more visitors should come with increased enforcement of health restrictions.
Or at least actually police it. As far as I've seen personally, there is no repercussions for anything. You know, if we want our businesses to stay open and safe, everyone's got to respect the rules. And people just doing whatever they want with no repercussions is, in my opinion, what got our bars shut back down. The Palm Springs Air Museum is hosting several events tonight to celebrate Independence Day. A flyover will pass over the valley. Planes will start in Yucca Valley around 6:15 and then circle the valley from west to east. A ceremony took place before the planes lifted off where several veterans spoke about what the 4th of July means to them. Our Nico Payne has a preview of the fireworks and a flyover that will help celebrate the 4th of July right here in the Coachella Valley tonight. He joins us live from the Palm Springs Air Museum where a special patriotic program is taking place. And those planes are getting ready to take off. Good evening, Nico.
That's right, Olivia. Just behind me is where 3 combat war veterans spoke, speaking on what the 4th of July means to them. And shortly after, 3 warbirds were flying over Lake Arrowhead. Then they'll be making their way over the Yucca Valley around 6:15, just in a little bit, before circling our entire valley from west to east and returning here to the Palm Springs Air Museum. The 4th of July is not only a day of celebration, it's an American tradition that celebrates hundreds of years of history. But this year, things are looking very different due to COVID-19. Coachella Valley residents will be hard-pressed to find big gatherings and crowded parties. This comes amid health officials begging the public to wear masks and stay at home. Agua Caliente Casino is holding their annual fireworks celebration, but doing it differently.
Cars will be 12 feet apart. We're really trying to adhere to the policies and keep everybody safe and happy this 4th of July. It's well thought out and it's going to be a great event.
Residents are encouraged to stay home and watch the fireworks on TV to avoid possible spread of the virus. And the Palm Springs Air Museum is also celebrating Independence Day. A flyover over the valley will take place tonight, and residents can simply walk outside to see the planes overhead.
There will also be 6 active duty service members in the aircraft that we're not going to have on camera, but we always fly and say thank you to active duty service members. So they'll be flying in the airplane. So when you see them, give them a wave.
Museum officials emphasize that this holiday celebrates our history as a country, and that can be done no matter the circumstances.
We're a cultural institution. We're the keeper of some of our history. And so it's important that even though we're facing great challenges, which our country has done before, we need to remind people that we have faced those challenges and we've overcome them.
And at Agua Caliente, they say giving back to the community is what inspires them to put on this event year after year.
If you want to count, there's going to be over 1,400 shells. They range from 3 inches to 10-inch shells. So I think this year it's going to be really, symbol's going to hit home. It's very patriotic, and we're going to show what America's about tonight.
And after you look up and see those warbirds flying over the Coachella Valley, be sure to tune into our sister station, KPSE, at 9 for live coverage of the Agua Caliente fireworks show. For right now, I'm reporting live in Palm Springs. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Nico. As you said there, you don't want to miss the only fireworks show in the Coachella Valley. That's tonight at Agua Caliente in Rancho Mirage. We're bringing it to you on our sister station, KPSE, at 9, so you can enjoy the show at home. It'll also be replaying at 11 o'clock right here on NBC Palm Springs. Our Gina Lamont is out at Agua Caliente Casino in Rancho Mirage getting ready for that big fireworks show tonight. He joins us now live out there. Gina, what can we expect to see?
Yeah, hi, good everybody. Hi, Olivia. Yeah, we are here in Rancho Mirage out in front of the Agua Caliente Casino. And what you can expect tonight is a 30-minute fireworks show with more than 1,400 fireworks launching off in that 30 minutes. Let me show you what's going on around here and what exactly the setup is like for you. It's the same as it's been for the past 5 years or so. We're here in a parking lot, a dirt lot that's right next to the casino parking lot. And they'll get about 3,000 people in here for the fireworks. Now, they are spreading them out a little bit more this year than they have in years past. And so they are asking people to stay in their cars, wear your mask if you venture out of the car, and then keep your chairs, if you're outside your car, close to your car, and try not to mingle with other people. And if you are out of the car, again, I stress, always wear your mask. Now, 100.5 will provide the music that'll go with the fireworks today. We're going to have two different camera locations for you. One high atop the hotel itself, the 16th floor up there. We'll have a camera spot there, and that's where Mike Everett will co-host tonight's event with me. And then I'm going to be actually across the street looking back towards the hotel to give you two different angles and two different views of tonight's fireworks extravaganza. Now, as I mentioned, this is the 5th year that we've worked with the tribe to put on this spectacular and broadcast it for you on KPSE. Earlier this week, we caught up with Tribal Vice Chairman Reed Milanovich. We're doing the fireworks show with you guys. I believe this is our 5th year in a row.
Yes.
You're now the only fireworks show in town.
Yes.
There's going to be some challenges that we haven't had in years past. It already filled up the parking lot and a lot of dirt lots in the area, and that was in a normal year.
Yes.
This year it's going to be a little more challenging. Tell us about this year's fireworks show.
So obviously this year's show is going to be a little bit different compared to last shows that we've offered. The main thing I want to emphasize is the ability to drive up and stay in your cars and be able to watch the show from within your car, as opposed to previous years we had more of a tailgating atmosphere. People could be in the parking lot socializing. This, we really want to emphasize social distancing and make sure that people are, we just want to encourage them to stay inside their cars and view the fireworks from within there.
Okay, so a little different that way. Will you allow fewer people in the parking lot to maintain that distance, or just suggest the ones that are there stay in the car?
Yes, there's going to be fewer cars in the parking lot.
Are you surprised at how popular that this fireworks show has become over the past 5-6 years?
You know what, I think we're pleasantly surprised. When we first put on this show, obviously we're excited to celebrate this holiday and put on an event for the community just to come enjoy. The way it's grown, we're happy with this growth. And to me personally, it feels great because this is our previous vice chair. Unfortunately, he passed last year, and this was his favorite event to attend, and he kind of took the lead on it. He would pick the foods and pick the drinks, and he was very excited to bring his wife Susan here, and we would all enjoy the fireworks. It's a great show. Yeah, and you guys spend a lot of money on this, and let's be honest, most of it doesn't come back into the casino. It's, I guess what you'd call a lost leader, right? They come out, maybe some people come in, but most just come, watch the show, and leave. Are you guys comfortable with, the cost involved in this, just based on the community's reaction? We feel it's very important to offer an event like this free of charge to the community. It brings people together. Obviously this year's a little bit different. We're going to encourage the social distancing again, but being able to put on an event for the community to enjoy is very important to us.
Yeah. Anything you can tell us, any secrets about what we're about to see, any inside stuff about the fireworks show itself?
You have to wait until the 4th of July for those.
And tonight, we've always said for the years past, you got to get here early. In fact, I can't tell you how many years people have been lined up down Bob Hope or lined up down Ramon. They end up seeing the fireworks show from their car because they simply can't get into the parking lot because they didn't give themselves enough time. Well, this year, even more so. We've already got 3 full rows of cars lined up now, and it's 3 hours before the show, if that gives you some idea of the kind of timeline you're looking at. So if you want to come down, there's still plenty of parking available, lots of space, but we do recommend recommend getting here as early as possible. And then we hope to see you live tonight at 9 o'clock over on KPSC. Live in Rancho Mirage, I'm Gino Lamont. Olivia, back to you.
Thank you very much, Gino. Sounds like a lot of fun. We're taking a live look now from our Agua Caliente casino cam, where we'll see those fireworks in just a little bit. We're going to send things over to our NBC Palm Springs chief meteorologist, Mike Everett, who sounds like he might be part of that fun tonight.
Absolutely. I'm looking very much forward to that. Third year in a row I'll be involved with it. And you know what? It seems like it's the third year in a row that you're seeing those winds picking up in the afternoon. Sometimes that makes people nervous. Like, will they cancel? Absolutely not. We saw winds that got up into about the 25, 30 mile an hour range as far as the gusts go. Now, the fireworks show is at 9 o'clock tonight. So let's put future winds into motion here. And at 9, these numbers here are what are called your sustained winds. Add about 10 miles an hour to that. That's where your gusts will be. So gusts will still be in that 25 mile an hour range from the northwest. Gives us some spectacular ventilation from what was a very hot day. And speaking with the organizers in years past, you have to get those winds up to about 40, 45 miles an hour before they consider canceling or postponing. So that will not be an issue tonight. It'll be breezy, it'll be wonderful out there, and it will be warm as well. Keeping those winds in motion as we go through to midnight tonight, we should finally get things back down into the single digits. And if you are planning on getting up and out for golf tomorrow morning, those winds will be back in the single digits. It will be warm though. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's warm outside right now. Currently 109, 112 was our official high today at Palm Springs International. We got a sustained wind there, about 17 miles an hour from the northwest. Again, gusts getting up to about 25, 30 tonight. No big deal. Humidity sitting at 14%. It did get down in the single digits today, and it will be warm next week as well. Ridge of high pressure almost perfectly on top of us. We're going to see those temperatures slowly cool tonight. We'll finally get it back into double digits just in time for the show tonight. We'll get ourselves into the 80s right around midnight and get ourselves into the upper 70s and lower 80s as we start the day on Sunday. Next 3 days brought to you by Comfort Air shows us, you guessed it, hot again on Sunday and Monday. That high will finally start to break down on Tuesday and put temperatures closer to the 30-year average for the middle of next week, but long-term forecast models are suggesting we'll warm back into this range again. I'll tell you when you can expect it, and we'll take a look at your full 7-day forecast coming up.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
All right, let's take a look at our local COVID-19 numbers. Now, the county has stopped reporting numbers on weekends, so these are as of Friday. Over 19,000 cases in Riverside County, over 5,500 of those here in the Coachella Valley, 479 deaths in the county, 130 in our valley. Indio has the most cases in the valley with 1,509. They also have the most deaths now with 34. Don't panic, keep calm, and carry on. That's the message from Eisenhower Health. They wrote on Facebook they're experiencing the highest number of COVID-19 inpatients since the beginning of this pandemic. They also posted this picture with the caption, quote, "We stay here for you. Please stay home for us." Riverside County is now allowing online appointments for county-operated testing sites. Health officials continue to encourage residents, those with and without symptoms, to get screened for the virus. You can make an appointment at the website that you see there on your screen. San Diego sees some crowded beaches today for the 4th of July. Many beaches have closed across California, but not San Diego County. The state closed their beach parking lots. That hasn't stopped hundreds from flocking over there for the holiday weekend. Safety precautions are in place. Lifeguards are patrolling the coast. Masks are being handed out, and there are signs telling visitors what is and what isn't allowed. And you can see the opposite of that over in Los Angeles. Hiking trails and beaches were closed this week in anticipation of the holiday. Ooh, empty beaches there for the hiking trails too. Most closures throughout the state are set to end after this weekend. The family of a Lake Elsinore man says he got sick and died of COVID-19 after going to a party. He even posted about feeling unwell on social media, saying he regretted going to that gathering but was hoping to pull through. Kim Tobin spoke with his family as they're coping with his loss.
The most devastating part about this for the family was how fast it all happened. Their loved one got tested for COVID-19 on a Monday, found out he was positive by a Thursday, and then passed away a few days later on Sunday. That's 51-year-old Tommy Macias doing what he did best, making his family laugh. And now all they have to hold on to are memories.
He was my favorite person to talk to. I know that I could call him and talk to him about anything, and he would never judge me for anything. He would just listen.
His niece, Danielle Lopez, says he had been quarantined for months, but decided to go to a party in Lake Elsinore with friends a few weeks ago.
He thought he was okay to go out. he regretted that decision, obviously.
He told family that one of the people at the party later tested positive for COVID-19, exposing 13 other people, and then he tested positive as well. He even posted this on his Facebook, saying he was sick, wished he hadn't gone to the party, and hoped he would be able to survive. Just days later, he thought he was having complications with his diabetes, but was rushed to the hospital when he couldn't breathe.
They decided to intubate him. And that was he was maybe intubated for 2 hours before he passed away because they just couldn't get his oxygen levels to where they needed it to be.
The family says not being able to be by his side or say goodbye was the hardest part, and they hope others will take precautions, wear a mask, and stay home as much as possible.
I understand people want to go out. I understand it's summertime and I don't want to be cooped up in my house either, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary if this is not going to go away unless everybody cooperates and does what they need to do.
Kim Tobin, NBC4 News.
Coming up after the break, experts warn about lighting fireworks while using hand sanitizer. I'll tell you why. Plus, later on in sports, America's favorite competition sees another installment. We're talking, of course, about Nathan's famous hot dog eating competition. Did Joey Chestnut win again? Well, we'll tell you coming up.
$88 is all it takes to get your AC system tuned up and in shape for summer. At Next Gen Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, we understand that when the temperature rises, your air conditioner working properly is essential. So we're making it more affordable than ever to keep your system running strong all summer long. Our X-Protects tune-up and 28-point safety inspection is a $178 value for only $88. From our Next Gen family to yours, we're honored to safely serve you.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Macy's 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular, live on NBC.
Welcome back. Taking a look off towards the north, courtesy of our Walter Clark Cam. Here's 111. Lots of folks rushing to get to wherever they want to be to see those fireworks tonight. We did have some fair weather cumulus sitting right over top of the San Bernardinos earlier. No chance of rain whatsoever, but put a little bit of spice into it. Otherwise, perfectly blue sky out there. We're seeing those palm trees blowing as well. Let's talk about those winds. In fact, that will be a big part of our forecast tonight. For that, though, a little treat. This is a live look for you, courtesy of our Mount Rushmore cam. I've been having a lot of fun taking a look at this over the last couple of days. Olivia was telling me earlier that it had been about 10 years since they've set the fireworks off the president's head. I got the opportunity to see this about 10 years ago. It was spectacular, and happy to hear they're doing that again. Taking a look across the west, it is a very different story from what our friends in the southeast are experiencing. Summertime, it gets humid there, and it's been humid and hot. In fact, they've had heat advisories in place for most of the week. So being here, not a bad deal. Ridge of high pressure is basically parked right over top of northwestern Mexico as we speak, and will actually slide slightly to the northwest over the next 24 hours. That puts us right over top of us, and that will keep us hot. It will keep us dry as well. Another thing that's perfect for those clear skies tonight is we're going to see a full moon. Actually, it will technically be full tomorrow, but something kind of cool tonight. We're going to have a partial lunar eclipse. So if you're looking outside tonight and you see the moon start to disappear right around 8:07, that's what's going on. It peaks around 9:29. It'll end around 10:52. So right at the same time we're going to have the fireworks show going, we're also going to have a show in the sky courtesy of the moon as well. It's going to be a very interesting night. 112 is where we got to today, 5 degrees above average. 107 is the 30-year average. We managed to tuck it into the 70s overnight. 79 is where we got to. 30-year average is 76. Record for today's date back in the late 80s was 120, and the low record in the mid-50s, 58 degrees. Not going to be anywhere close to that over the next 24 hours. There's that big blue H telling you where the high pressure is. Temperatures in the Coachella Valley on Sunday will be in that 111 to 114 range. But once again, we'll get some of that northwesterly flow in the afternoon. It gives us some ventilation. One thing to be aware of, if you do have some coastal plans tomorrow, high surf advisory in place along the coast there. Long period swell could get some of those wave sets up to about 8 feet, and it could bring some coastal flooding into spots near Costa Mesa, Del Mar, La Jolla as well. Could get some light coastal flooding, and all that high surf will extend all the way up through Ventura as well. Rip currents are the big issue there if you take the kids or pets. 104 currently in 29 Palms, 111 in Coachella, and 92 in the Yucca Valley, and a cool 72 in Big Bear. Those winds, as we discussed earlier, are gusting up into that 20-30 mile an hour range. We'll continue to do that until about 10 o'clock tonight. It won't be a problem for the fireworks, and again, that's some welcome relief because we're not going to get from temperatures. 91 still 11 o'clock tonight, 84 at 2 a.m. We'll start in the upper 70s and lower 80s on Sunday, and boom, here comes the heat. 113 by 4 p.m., and those dew points in the mid-30s will make it about 5% humidity out there. 113 will be your high in Palm Springs, 115 in Indio and parts south. Look for some low 100s in the high desert and upper 70s in the mountain. Your Comfort Air 7-day forecast shows us staying hot through Monday, slight cooling as we go to the middle of next week, but long-term forecast expects us to get warm again next weekend.
There are people I meet through my reporting that leave a lasting impact. For me, one of those people is Nina Smith. She set out to make sure that her
NBC Palm Springs, it's an American tradition truly unlike any other. The coronavirus pandemic didn't stop the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on Coney Island. This year's event did look a little different. It was held indoors with no fans and in an outcome that no one saw coming. Joey Chestnut won the men's competition, his 13th time winning. Woo, those highlights right there. He set a new world record eating 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Mickey Sudo won the women's competition, her 7th in a row. She set a new women's world record eating 48 and a half hot dogs. Woo, that is a day right there of calories. That does it for sports. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
A lot has changed and no one knows when